Well, hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to my podcast, Speak Up, Speak Out. So, my last episode, we talked a lot about my dad and the abuse that he did to me growing up, and I discussed how I thought it was pretty normal because that's the first time I saw that, and I just thought that that's just how growing up is, and that's how strict parents are, and everything about it was normal to me. And I shared a lot of private stuff with the world, and I'm happy that I did that, and I really hope that it helps other people to speak up. To add on to that, I came out when I was about 14 years old. I was in middle school, and that's kind of where you start to realize who you are as a person and what you're into, and you just start to explore yourself more. I learned that through child development because I would have never thought that feeling the way I did at that age was normal. So I really thank my major for giving me this information about adolescence. And honestly, I wasn't really hesitant to come out when I first realized, oh dang, I think I might be gay. What really was the first time that I was like, this is a new feeling. What the heck does it mean? was when I noticed this girl that was in my math class in middle school, and she had dark hair and pretty bluish greenish eyes, and she was short like me, fun sized, and honestly I thought she was just super beautiful, but right then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think she's beautiful like how I would just say to my friend, but I think she's beautiful in another way. Like, I think I might be attracted to her and want her full attention, kind of beautiful. I've only seen like 2 gay couples ever, and to me, I just figured, okay, that's not normal, because I grew up with my dad and my stepmom telling me it's not normal to be into women, basically. I'll put it out like that. They would just make it known whenever it was brought up by others, or like on TV or commercials or something, like, oh, don't pay attention to that lifestyle, or making comments like they really need to go to church or read the Bible. And I thought nothing of it. I just went along with it, and I'm like a diehard Christian because of them at that time. And I was just like, yeah, dang, what are they doing? Like, that's not normal. Why are they acting like that? Almost like it was a crime. I do remember feeling very nervous the day that I was going to talk to my stepmom about it. I wasn't even going to talk to my dad about it. No, I wanted to trust my stepmom enough to talk to her about how I was feeling, because, she's another woman, and I want to be sure that she's validating how I feel, but also is going to lead me in the right direction. Let me just freaking tell you, I would have never, ever gone to talk to her about this first, knowing what she pulled on me. Her freaking stepdaughter who needs her advice and guidance because I'm still growing up and I'm still figuring out life. That night, I told her I wanted to go on a drive, just us two, to talk about something really important. So she respected that, and she took me on a drive, and we parked somewhere private, and she made me feel comfortable, telling me it's okay, like, we can get through anything, and I'm always here for you, and all of that. I was comfortable enough anyway to just tell her, because I trusted her that much. So I sat there, and I looked at her, and I said, well, is it normal, you think, more so now that girls can be with girls. Like, I remember asking her that, and she just kind of pauses for a moment and looks at me, not even with disappointment or anger. No, it was just a blank face, like unexpected, almost like I shocked her with what I said just now. I remember her saying, well, God doesn't want you to be with another woman if you are a woman, or girls at that time, I should say. And I was like, okay, well then, why do you think I feel the way that I do about this girl that I see in my math class? And she just, she sits there and she just says, well, I don't know, but you need to stop. Like, that's basically against the rules of the Bible, and more about that. Our conversation ended and we went back home after that, and that was the end of that. The very next day when I got home from school, I came home and my dad and my stepmom pulled me aside and went into a room with me and had a serious discussion about how I'm sinning if I'm thinking the way I do about another girl, and we need to try to change my mindset. And if I have any questions or need any advice, to come to them about it, and they will help me to, basically, in quote unquote, make things normal, make things better by not being myself, basically. I don't even know what you would call that, honestly. From then on, I just really tried to freaking work on myself enough to people please them, because people pleasing was a huge thing for me. I even got baptized to prove I'm all in for God and I believe in all that, and I will give my life for Him, live my life for Him. So I was all about making them love me and accept me for who they wanted me to be. I remember a time where I really, really, really loved, and I can say that because I know I loved this girl. I really loved her, and I've loved her from, I want to say probably middle school, the end of 7th grade, until my junior year of high school. Yeah, I've always loved her, and she was always in the back of my mind. But finally, after a while, I just let my dad know, like, I really like this girl, and I really, really want to be with her. So I'm gonna try, and I hope that you will accept and love me for it. And he just sits there and he tells me, that's fine. I just would like a letter from that girl to see why she wants to be with you and see if she's a good fit and all that. And I'm just thinking, what in the world? What? That is really awkward and embarrassing and weird, but I really wanted to be with her, so I let her know what my dad said, and she did it with no issues and no problems at all. She wrote him a letter, and he read it and was fine with us being together. That's when I officially let everyone else around me know that I think I'm bisexual at that time. I did think I might have been gay, but I also did try to date boys and men to see if that was my thing, just to please my father, because that's all I really wanted to do in my childhood and adolescence. It became a point where he and my stepmom started to be verbally violent to me. Like, I first noticed it when I was on Facebook creating one for the first time, and I went to add that girl that was mine. Excuse me, burping over here. But of course, they're over my shoulder seeing what I'm doing, so they know that I just sent a friend request to that girl that they know I'm with. And they know I'm with her, so I figure it's not a huge deal if they see that. Well, my dad has the audacity right then to say, "Oh, you're gonna add the lesbian? And what other lesbians are you going to add?" And then from then on, it's just been super violent, and he would always refer to my girls' friend group and her as the lesbians. And it would bug the absolute heck out of me because I know that he was using the term lesbian as evil, like for evil, as a threat almost. Like it's threatening to our life and our existence. Every once in a while, they would pull me aside to have a conversation and just let me know that I'm still sinning, and they would give me a new Bible and tell me to read certain pages by a certain amount of time, and just trying to get me quote unquote normal. So I already had instilled in the back of my mind, I am not normal. I'm not doing normal things. I am not living a normal life. And honestly, I was perfectly okay with it in that moment in time. Then, after the sexual abuse had happened and my mom got me living with her, then I went through some really tough stuff as I was still figuring out my true identity. I, of course, had the same talk with my mom, and, I told her I'm into women and I was wondering if I can date them, and she was like, "You don't need to ask me, it's your life. Like, I support you 100%. This was baffling to me because my dad had even said, "I talked to your mom and your sister, your older sister, and they both said that they don't support what you are doing and they want you to change." For me, that was a huge heart stabber, hearing how my dad talked for my mom and my older sister when they would never ever say such things to me or about me. But anyway, I started dating this cheerleader in my freshman year of high school. I was really into her, and I let my mom know when I started dating her, and she was like, "Oh, cool, like I support her," or I support you both, I should say. And, just making me feel like it was totally normal to be with a girl, and I wasn't used to that. So that's when I became very harmful to myself. I slowly started to cut myself to get rid of how I was feeling about not being normal. Because to me, I thought, there's no way that I can go from abnormal to normal when I haven't done anything to change. Like, that's what Dad told me. That's what my dad told me. I would cut a lot. I want to say maybe 4 out of the 7 days a week. Each week, I would just go over the same cut over and over. I was punishing myself for being into girls and not changing because that's just not me. And I already did try to change for my dad, and I was just not happy. I just felt I was going through the motions. Here I had my mom telling me I'm living a normal life and I can be with who I want, and anyone who loves me should support that. It's hard when one parent says one thing and the other says another. Like, what am I to believe? I'm in the middle right now. So I punished myself a lot. I want to tell everyone listening that if you are struggling and you're young, or you're struggling and you're older, to come out or to be who you are because it's not quote unquote normal to the world, let me be the first person or one of the first people to tell you that you are normal and you do not have to be what everyone wants you to be. Like, people that are gay, there is not a whole lot of them compared to straight people out there, but it is completely normal. There just so happens to be a lower number of amount of people for that specific category. That's how I see it, and you will always have support from someone. You just have to look in the right places. You should not have to question if you are normal or if you are doing something wrong when you are just loving who you love and being who you want to be. Well, thank you everyone again for listening to my podcast, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate you and I appreciate your support. Stay tuned for the next episode of Speak Up, Speak Out next week. Thank you.